Hello and welcome to WTV. I'm Allister Aalders.
And I'm Skye Bryden-Blom. It's our last show before our show breaks for the holiday season, and we have lots coming up tonight.
That's right. You'll have an update on the future of the McDonald Bridge Bikeway project.
Yes, the city is looking at making it easier for cyclists to travel between Dartmouth and Halifax.
Also, libraries throughout the HRM are offering English tutoring to immigrants. Coming up, we'll hear from a Syrian family who is taking part in this workshop.
But first, let's check in with Matthew Moore at the news desk.
Thanks, Skye and Allister. The federal government may be phasing out coal production in the country, but Nova Scotia is exempt, for now. At an announcement here at the Waterfront campus, Environment Minister Catherine McKenna said the production of coal-fired electricity will end by 2030. But an agreement with Nova Scotia means the province can keep producing coal beyond that deadline, as long as it lowers CO2 levels by other means.
So the issue that the equivalence agreement is there to allow us to transition off of coal and not dead set on 2030. It in no way indicates that we'll be burning coal well into the future.
The agreement requires Nova Scotia to lower CO2 emissions by 4.5 megatons, but it can do so by adopting renewable energy like wind and solar. Nova Scotia has 4 coal-fired plants. There's no timetable for when they will have to close. This year, the province is taking another look at rules affecting people with intellectual disabilities. Nick Maloney is standing by with the story. Nick?
Thanks, Matthew. This past June, the Nova Scotia Supreme Court decided that the Incompetent Persons Act, which deals with the rights of those with intellectual disabilities, wasn't clear enough. So now the Justice Department is working to make that law better. I spoke with a family from Lower Sackville that has a lifetime of experience in that area.
I always maintained that what was good for my other 2 children should be available for my handicapped child.
Mary and Jack Brill still spend a lot of time with their daughter Carol, who has an intellectual disability. At 52, she's the youngest of 3 children, and she was born missing a part of her brain critical to communication and learning.
It's the corpus callosum, which is the center part of the brain. If you don't have one, you've got problems.
Carol's condition only affects 1 in a million babies. She was diagnosed at a time when legislation and support for disabled people was new. So the Brills did whatever they could to ensure Carol lived a happy life.
Yeah, she's our daughter, so you do what you have to do. You do what you would want done to yourself.
Through the years, the Brills say that they've been fortunate to have made good connections with community living and support organizations. Carol now lives happily in a group home not too far from them, but they say that support for people like them, the guardians of people who have been declared incompetent, is still essential.
That was the biggest fight, is getting past people's attitudes, you know. And it's hard for some people, you know, it's hard. You get tired of fighting.
The Brills say that it is important that the province is seeking public feedback as it tries to improve the Incompetent Persons Act. They say input from healthcare professionals and, more importantly, families like theirs will help ensure people like Carol don't fall through the cracks.
We just protect her as best we can, that's all. Love her and protect her.
On the website, on their website rather, the Justice Department has a survey available to the public until November 30th. And Matthew, they say that they're going to use this feedback from the survey to ensure that the law applies to each specific case of those with intellectual disabilities. Back to you, Matthew.
Thanks, Nick. The flu is moving east and moving fast, according to health authorities. The flu is going full tilt in many cities through central Canada, causing a rush for us in eastern Canada to get protected. Pharmacies and clinics are encouraging people to get their flu shot as soon as possible.
You essentially can just walk into a pharmacy and say, I'm here to get the flu shot. And so the convenience factor has made it easier for people to get the flu shot. And so we're starting to see the numbers slowly go up.
Health officials expect the flu to hit us hardest around the holidays. According to Health Canada, 145 new cases of the flu were reported last week, with H3N2 being the most common type. Now, a regional Lego competition was held at the NSCC Ackerley campus in Dartmouth this past week. Competitors had to do a presentation and also navigate their robots through a series of challenges and obstacles. The competitors are between the ages of 9 and 14, all competing for a chance to take part in provincials at Acadia and Wolfville. The robots must complete tasks on the board within 2 minutes. The robots operate with no remote controls, but are programmed to move with the help of a computer. The goal is to help kids with critical thinking skills and to develop their interest in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Pit Team 7 from Ombre Academy assured me that it's all quite simple.
We test, like we make one block, see if that's far enough. If it's not, we adjust it, and then we just build off those.
Yeah, the programming language is special so that the robot can understand it, and also it's written in a way so that it's not as complicated for us. So it's easier for us to run and see what's correct, what's not correct, and it's pretty easy, honestly.
That team from Ombre Academy won and will compete for provincials. They're hoping to make their ways to the World Finals in St. Louis, Missouri next spring. Now, almost a year has passed since our classmates and the radio, television, and journalism program first brought the issue of land title in North Preston to the attention of the people across the province and the country as well. Their work showed that due to racist policies used 200 years ago, when the land was first given to black settlers, many people today still do not have legal title to their land. That means they can't sell it or pass it down to their children. This year, we will have answers from the government and also updates from people within the community.
And you know, you'll go to sleep thinking about the same thing, waking up thinking about the same thing, just asking God to open a way for you to have your own land back and have it in paper to say it's ours.
And this time, the government ministers responsible for this issue sat down with us and spoke frankly about the many challenges they face solving this historic injustice.
You know, unfortunately, government sometimes is slow to respond because of the internal processes that are involved. And I actually do have files, land files, that are not related to this. They're going back several decades.
Watch for our news stories on WTV's social media sites and on our website, northprestonland.ca. That's all coming very soon. And that's all in the news for this week. Back to you, Skye and Allister.
Thanks, Matthew. It's time now for us to take a short break.
But there's still much more to come on WTV.
We'll take a look at what the city has planned for bike lanes around the McDonald Bridge to make travel safer for cyclists.
And WTV's Jean-Marc Sampson will join us live to tell us about how some Halifax libraries are offering English classes to newcomers. Make sure you stay with us.
So my name is Brandon McDonald. I'm a music arts student here at NSCC, and you're watching WTV.
Thanks, Brandon. Welcome back to WTV. With the recent influx of Syrian refugees coming to Canada over the last year, the Halifax Public Libraries have expanded their language programs.
Jean-Marc Sampson attended a Saturday conversation group, and he's standing by to tell us more. Jean-Marc?
That's right, Skye. On Saturday, I attended the English conversation group held at the Keshin-Goodman Library, and that's where a group of newcomers get together weekly to help one another improve on their written and spoken English.
This library isn't just home to books, movies, and magazines. On Saturdays, it's where people from around the world come to learn. This program started 3 years ago, but in the last year, it's grown a lot due to the influx of Syrian refugees. Ahmed Hassan, his brother Mohammed, and sister Abdisam arrived here 10 months ago.
On the first, we didn't focus to get to Canada.
They joined the group a month and a half ago.
We was just want to move from Syria and Lebanon, and when they say Canada, we're getting happy.
With the coordination of Halifax Public Libraries, 6 of their branches now hold English conversation groups like these. The Hassans are just 3 of 185 participants in the group in HRM. 20 people attend the groups here at the Keshin-Goodman branch.
I find that especially the refugees need help at the beginning to get up to STEAM to be able to communicate properly in order to be able to have jobs and to do things on their own.
The group works on basic sentences and everyday words to help them integrate into Canadian society.
So I think it's important that it gets people out, makes them connected to the community. They meet Canadians, so they make connections and friendships with other people in the community. They see the library as a safe and welcoming place to be, so they get exposed to all our other programs. And it really helps them feel settled and integrated.
Heather McKenzie says participants can stay in the group for up to 5 years as they improve their English language skills. She says this year they even had to run programs during the summer months to keep up with demand.
So for this year, for the first time, we kept programs going over the summer to create capacity for the Syrian newcomers to join a conversation group.
Ahmed Hassan has started a new job with ISANS and says the group has helped him a lot.
That needs help me to improve my English first and meet new people, talk to them. That's what it means for me.
Now, Skye, while Ahmed is in the advanced group, he says he and his family are excited to continue down the learning road and improving their English language skills. Back to you, Skye.
Thanks, Jean-Marc. The city wants to encourage more people to bike to work, and they want to make that journey safer too. Last week I stopped by one of the open houses for the Bikeway Connector project to find out what's planned for the McDonald Bridge Bikeway and nearby intersections.
I love biking in traffic. I think it's an adrenaline rush.
Brad Stevens is an experienced cyclist who has relied on the McDonald Bridge Bikeway to get to Halifax for the past 8 years.
Since it's been closed, it's kind of limited me to going to Halifax as much when it's not been for work. And it's kind of an inconvenience, of course.
The bikeway along the bridge has been closed since 2015 as a result of the big lift. Now the city is looking to improve access to the McDonald Bridge Bikeway and surrounding intersections through the Bikeway Connector project.
We know that the situation right now is not favorable to attracting more people to bicycling. I've heard from a number of people about how excited they were to get on the McDonald Bridge Bikeway and try bicycling, and then experience what it was really like to get through those intersections.
Stevens attended one of 3 public meetings that were held last week.
The biggest change that they were presenting was the flyover. I thought it was the best one. And everything, and just a lot of great effort being made.
A flyover ramp would bring cyclists over traffic lanes, ending up at Lorne Terrace or North Street in Halifax. The project also proposes the construction of protected bicycle lanes, new connections to the bridge, and the development of greenways. Stevens says, despite his support for the project, his biggest concern is what will happen once the big lift is completed.
Because now what's going to happen is the big lift is going to finish, and then they're going to set up all kinds of construction barriers and everything else to begin the new project.
Bikeway officials say they weren't able to update the Bikeway connectors at the same time as the improvements to the McDonald Bridge. Although the Bikeway has been replaced with the big lift, improvements to connections between the bridge and nearby neighborhoods will have to wait until council approval in 2017.
So I'm looking forward to the bike path being opened and just getting back to the normal routine of that.
You can still provide your input on the Bikeway Connector project at shapeyourcityhalifax.ca. The survey doesn't close until December 2nd, and the project is scheduled to appear at Regional Council in early 2017, with the first of the changes expected to follow within 2 years.
With so many new faces on City Council, it will be interesting to see what input councillors will have on this project.
You're right. It's time now for another short break.
Coming up, I spoke with one business owner who will be closing his doors due to the construction of the Nova Centre.
And we'll hear from an NSCC instructor whose life was changed after he received funding from a Nova Scotia sponsorship program that helps people in developing countries. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WTV. It's time to take a look at your weekend forecast. For Friday, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 5 and an overnight low of +1. For Saturday, expect periods of rain with a high of 7 and an overnight low of +2. And this rain will be coming from a potential nor'easter, which is expected to strengthen as we move into Sunday, bringing more rain. But we can't rule out some snow potentially mixing with rain during the system. Expect a high of 5 and an overnight low of +2. And that's the weather. Allister?
Sounds like we'll have the first nor'easter of the season, and it looks like winter is almost here. Thanks, Skye. A multi-million-dollar project in downtown Halifax has been causing headaches for both businesses and customers in the heart of the city. Now a prominent music venue will be shutting its doors due to the project.
We're done. We're done. That's all there is to it.
The Carlton Music Bar in Halifax has been a staple for music and entertainment in the city for over 8 years. But its owner says construction of the Nova Centre has kept people away from the downtown area.
We tried hard, but we just, under these conditions, there's no way on earth that we can survive.
The $500 million project started 4 years ago and was supposed to open in early 2016. That date was pushed back to the fall of this year and has once again been pushed to December of 2017 due to design amendments. Campbell estimates business has declined roughly 30% each year since the project began, and that parking has been the biggest setback to bringing in business.
People come down here, can't park anywhere, find a place they think is okay, get a parking ticket, get sick and tired of that, and then just say, screw it, I'm not coming downtown.
The Carlton has won 6 Music Nova Scotia Awards and 3 East Coast Music Awards for Venue of the Year. Despite a Patreon campaign and legal action with other businesses in the area to recoup losses, Campbell says he will be forced to shut his doors at the end of this year.
You know, it's not like we didn't try, and it's not like I think we were doing anything terribly wrong. The artists love the venue, the people that come here to see shows love it. We just did our best and just fell short, that's all.
Argyle Development says 22 national and international events booked in 2017 will have to be rescheduled. Impacted clients have been notified and steps are underway to work on alternative arrangements. As for Campbell, he says he'll try to bring in as many acts as he can over the holiday season before they close. He expects his final night will be this New Year's Eve. And Skye, Campbell says he expects the new owner will begin renovations to the building in the new year.
It'll be interesting to see what this will mean for the local music scene in Halifax.
That's for sure. Changing and enriching lives is not new to the Chalice organization.
They're a sponsorship program based in Nova Scotia that helps people in developing countries. WTV's Jenny Searle has more.
Samuel Karagu is an instructor at Nova Scotia Community College with a Bachelor of Commerce and Accounting. Originally from Kenya, he received full sponsorship through the Chalice organization. He says the sponsorship changed his life.
When I received this sponsorship, I knew now this life-changing moment for me, and it was a moment for me to, this moment would transfer me from the jungles of Africa to the city to go and study. So I saw it as an opportunity for my family, an opportunity that will help me to help my family once I finish my school and I get a job.
Before receiving sponsorship through Chalice, Karagu says he lived a typical Kenyan life with his family.
I was just like any other normal, African boy, my work was, just going to school, and then after school, go help in home duties like looking after my parents' cattle and goats, that was that's what I used to do.
Chalice provides food, shelter, and education to 50,000 children in 15 developing countries. Founded originally in Spring Hill by Father Patrick Cosgrove, he says Chalice is a church-based charity that is growing and plans to do more.
So I hope we're going to continue to grow. I think the new initiatives with the direct family funding, I hope that will make a bigger difference than we've ever done before.
For Chalice, let it continue doing its work. And for the donors, let them continue supporting this organization. It's an organization doing a very noble task, and it's touching lives to very, very many children and very, very many families across the globe.
Jenny Searle, WTV News, Halifax.
Officials at Chalice say they plan to seek government funding so they can expand their programs in the future.
It's time to check in with our first-year entertainment host, Emily Vaudeville. Emily?
Thanks, guys. Here's what's happening in Halifax this week. This weekend, head on down to Citadel Hill for their 27th annual Victorian Christmas. Experience this historical take on Christmas by sipping some hot cider and listening to carols. Who knows, Father Christmas may even stop by. Admission is free with a donation to Feed Nova Scotia, and be sure to capture the moment in their Victorian photo booth. Stop by Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 4 p.m. From now until December 11th, head over to Mount St. Vincent University's Art Gallery to see the annual Mount Community Show. Students, staff, faculty, and alumni will be showcasing artworks of all kinds. From poetry to painting to rug hooking, there's something for everyone. Take in the sights and let your own creative juices flow. And finally, next Saturday, take a trip to St. Andrew's Rec Centre in Halifax for the 3rd Annual International Bazaar. From 10 until 2, you can browse wares such as homemade food, traditional clothing, beautiful carpets and scarves, along with jewelry and so much more. Admission is $1 or one non-perishable food item. Help support those in need and maybe snag the perfect gift for the holidays. That's what's happening in Halifax this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Emily. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's hard to believe we won't be back until the new year.
I know, right? But be sure to keep an eye on our website and our social media pages at WTV Media.
And as Matthew mentioned in the newscast, we're working on an update to a story we brought you last year. It's called Untitled, and it exposed historic wrongs surrounding the issue of land title in North Preston.
We've been working on an update to that for the past few months, and we'll have more coming soon. Make sure to keep it locked to WTV Media on Facebook.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the new year.
Good night.